Hi guys, in this 90 days series to become a expert in Python and to achieve your targets, let's start with the brief intro about Python. So in this session, you will get to know about the salient features of Python. What does mean by an object-oriented programming language? What are all the different hoops concepts actually available, and also what is mean by a scripting language? So all these things will help you in understanding the structure of the Python before starting with the important concepts. Again, it is just an overview, so I'm not going to discuss in depth about all the OOPS concept available. However, in the upcoming days we will make separate sessions. This is just an overview about the Python. So Python brief intro. So saying about Python, Python is a combination of an object-oriented programming language and a scripting language which is built on top of C, developed by Guido van Rossum in 1981. It can automate the manual task and expand its wings in every field. It has more than 1,000 predefined libraries making the task of different domains like computer science, analytics, statistics, AI, biotechnology. Again, we have something called bioinformatics into that biotechnology, a separate domain for artificial intelligence, bioinformatics. Even a commerce person make various good things using Python, even in medicine easier. It is an open source and easily codable language comparing to Java, C and C++. And again, it's highly paid and easily learnable language and can be easily integrated with C, C++, Java, MySQL, etc. These are all the salient features of Python. Now, as I've already mentioned, Python is a combination of an object-oriented programming language and a scripting language. What is meant by an object-oriented programming language and what is meant by scripting language? I will explain you in the upcoming slides. Before that, the second point, it can automate the manual task and expand its wings in every field. Each and every day we do lots of manual tasks without if you are not aware about any programming language, you will stick to the same tedious process. But programming can reduce your tedious efforts into an effective and easier way. And it has more than 1,000 predefined libraries. These libraries can have a huge impact in your day-to-day task such that it adds values to your regular activities. That is why Python has spread its wings in different domains. It is not limited within an IT sector or engineering field. More than an engineering field, more than the IT sector, Python has its footprints in all the fields, say medicine, say biotechnology, say if you are a commerce person, electronics, mechanical, civil, every field they require Python in order to do their manual task in an easier way. And again, it is open source and you can learn to code in Python very easily within a short span of time. Speaking about myself, in this 2 years of journey, each and every stage I started learning different concepts in Python, and now I can make wonders and I can reach a greater height in my career, and it's only because of Python. And again, it's a highly paid and easily learnable language, and we can easily integrate this Python with other programming languages and databases effectively. As I've already mentioned, Python is an object-oriented and a scripting language. What does mean by an object-oriented language, which is in short called by the name OOPS? Let's see that. Normally, I think there is some issue. Let me open it. Yeah. The concept of object-oriented programming language, again, it's just an overview. When we speak about inheritance and other OOPS concept, we'll dive deep into it. So normally an object-oriented programming language is something like it is made up of classes and objects. Classes and objects define the concept of OOPS. Take about your maths book or a physics book. You have different chapters, right? Each chapter has different functionality. So each chapters are referred to a methods inside a class, and a class is your textbook. Say it's a class, max is your class, physics is your class, and whatever the activities you do inside, that is a function. So every class will have an object. That object will give life to that class. For example, your teacher, your physics ma'am is your object, your max ma'am is your object. So this object will give life to the class such that you can execute all the functions. So OOPS is a concept that is made up of class and objects, and it follows a bottom to up approach. So normally in this kind of programming language that makes use of OOPS, the program won't be executed in a top to bottom approach. In this class concept, it will be executed from bottom to the top, because from the bottom only we'll be calling that particular class. It is a step-by-step approach to solve a problem. Again, OOPS is a concept to solve a step-by-step method to solve any problem, and everything in the object-oriented programming, as the name suggests, object-oriented. Everything is an object. Each object has an ID, type, and a value. We will be discussing this in the upcoming episodes and it increases the code reusability and reduces time complexity. This object-oriented programming language actually it gives you the habit of it gives you a chance to reuse your code. For an example, you are writing a code for some function. In later, if some other concepts make use of the same function, actually you can make use of it. That is the concept of code reusability. And similarly, it reduces the time complexity. Since you have an habit, you have a chance of reusing your code, you can actually reduce your time. So that is the salient feature of it. And next one is like, it increases the efficiency and provides security to the code due to its encapsulation and abstraction features. In object-oriented programming, we have different concepts. One among them is like encapsulation and abstraction, such that you can abstract, you can disclose your data, you can provide encryption to your data, such that security is highly improved in object-oriented programming language. Hence, again, let's have a quick review about the object-oriented programming languages. Classes and objects define the concept of OOPS. It follows bottom-up approach. It is a step-by-step approach to solve a problem. Each object has a unique ID, type ID, and a value. It increases the code reusability and reduces the time complexity. It increases the efficiency and provides security to the code due to its encapsulation and abstraction feature. So I just want to show how a class and object looks. Just have a look. This is just overview. So normally I say a class calc. This particular init method, what happens is whatever the data we pass, it takes the data within that class, and I have just written a simple addition function. It takes two variables and adds and provide me output. A class can have multiple methods. Say you are designing if you are designing any application, you have different tasks to be done. These tasks are split into different methods inside a class. So this P1 is nothing but an object. Using this object, I'm just creating an object for this class calc. Like say P1 is the object and I'm passing value. Using this object, I'm calling this particular function, say add, and I'm getting the output. So this is a simple thing. I have a class. Inside a class, I have a method. I will create an object for that class. Using that object, I pass the value and I call the required method, whatever I need from that particular class. Simple. Next one is, what are all the different concepts in OOPS, different OOPS concepts. So encapsulation or encryption, it is like providing security to your code. It discloses the private information that you don't want to expose to the outer world. And next second one is a polymorphism. Again, we have two methods called operator overloading, operator overriding concept that comes under this polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but one taking many forms. That is about a simple thing about a polymorphism. Again, we will discuss in detail in all these in the OOPS concept while we discuss about Python. This is just overview. And inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but what do you mean by inheritance? Inherits. One class inherits the properties of another class. So if I need any data from any other class or from any other task, and if I required this, definitely we will be using this concept of inheritance. In order to, we will establish a tunnel. It's a kind of a tunnel established such that I can get values from others, like making a friendship with other classes. And abstraction. Abstraction is a case like we will be writing some concepts, but we don't have a proper definition for that. So we will declare it, but we don't have a proper definition for it. So that is the concept of abstraction. So encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and abstraction. These are the four important concepts in OOPS. So in detail in the upcoming days, we will discuss about it. Encapsulation, it's for security or encryption. Polymorphism, one taking a multiple forms. And thirdly, inheritance, in order to inherit the in order to inherit the values from one class to the another, we make use of inheritance. And fourthly, abstraction, we will be we will be declaring certain thing, but we don't have a proper definition for it. So we will be creating definition in times of need. So these are all the most important concepts in OOPS. And as I've already mentioned, Python is an object oriented, interactive, compiler and interpreter oriented scripting language. It's an object oriented. What is meant by a scripting language? It's again a scripting language, right? A scripting language makes use of an interpreter. Scripting language allows user to develop dynamic means changing, we can keep on changing the data. It won't be static. For an example, you say encyclopedia is a static, whereas if you go for any other apps, websites, you can see the changes in their data kits keep on updated. That is about a dynamic. So scripting language allows users to develop dynamic and interactive web pages with minimum effort and less programming expertise. So you can make many interactive web pages and applications with minimal programming expertise, and that is nothing but a scripting language. Let's dive back to the previous concept. So what are all the different OOPS concept? Encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and abstraction. What do you mean by scripting language? It makes use of an interpreter. Interpreter executes line by line so that we can make this scripting language is used to develop a dynamic, interactive, and a user-friendly website. So these are the salient features about the Python. And again, it is object-oriented programming language, which is nothing but making a task very easier, code reusability, flexibility, time-consuming, and more effective in security. All these are all the salient features of OOPS. So Python is a combination of all these things. So whoever asks you in any questions, if they throw about Python, what do you know about Python? The simple statement that you have to give is a Python is an object oriented. It's an object oriented compiler and interpreter. It's an object oriented compiler, interpreter oriented scripting language to make the sessions interactive, and it has more than 1,000 libraries that actually makes the manual tasks much easier. And comparing to other programming language, my Python is platform independent. It can work in any platform, and it is a open source such that we can download and use it at free of cost. And in Python, everything is an object, hence we call it as an object oriented programming language. So these are all the important points you can actually add to your interviewer, or like whoever questions you about the basic definition about Python. So Python is an object oriented compiler, interpreter oriented scripting language which makes your sessions very interactive. So thanks for watching my video. Bye.